Here are some real-world scenarios that can happen to you at any time, and here's how you can save yourself. It is 3 a.m. and you are awoken by a knock at the door. Here's how you know you're in danger. If the knocking is calm and consistent. A calm knocking at the door, especially late at night, can indicate premeditation rather than urgency. Another sign that you're in danger would be if you spot shadows or faint movements near your doors or windows. This indicates that the person is situating around your house, or there could be more than one person waiting outside. In more disturbing cases, the knocking could shift from one door to another, which indicates a clear awareness of your house layout. In such dangerous cases where you call out to the person knocking on the door and they claim to need help outside, but they don't sound distressed, you're definitely in danger. This is what you must do to survive. You must stay silent or still. Do not make any noise that could reveal your position in the house. Assess safely, carefully, and silently. Look through peepholes or through windows. If you're confident that nobody is already inside your house, lock all the doors around your house immediately. Do not open the door. No matter the excuse, whether they claim to be in distress, they claim to be lost, or they claim to be law enforcement, do not open the door unless you're 100% sure they're legitimate. Immediately call for help. If you have access to a phone, make sure you call the police immediately. The next option, you should do so with caution, and that is to turn your lights around your house carefully to give the person or persons outside the house the idea that there might be more than one person inside the house. But this is if they don't already know you're alone. And most importantly, avoid going outside. If someone is claiming to need help, tell them you're calling emergency service for them, but do not go outside your house. I repeat, do not open the door or leave the home, because the minute you do so, you open yourself to extreme danger. Stay safe. Here are some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. It's 1 a.m. in the middle of the night. You are alone and distracted on your phone. You glance up and you notice someone from outside your window, silently staring at you. In this situation, you're immediately in danger. But here's what you should do. Fight every part of your body that is in fight or flight response. Do not react. Do not show fear in the slightest, because showing fear gives the person exactly what they want. Do not look away. Do not break eye contact. No matter how terrifying or no matter how disturbing the person looks, do not break eye contact with them. Stay within eye's reach. In the extremely likely but very dangerous scenario where you either look away or you show fear, you have already given this person what they wanted, which gives them the confidence to prepare their next move. In the very disturbing case where you do communicate with the person in any way, shape, or form, be it by retaliating, by screaming, by confronting them, or even threatening them, and they don't show any reaction whatsoever, treat this as an imminent threat and a warning, and stop immediately. I repeat, never look away. Reach for something solid that you can use as a weapon to defend yourself. And if you can, without turning your back away from the window until you're out of sight. In such a disturbing scenario where there's someone standing so nonchalantly with no reaction whatsoever outside your window staring at you, there could very well be a possibility of a possible ambush attempt, or that someone else is already inside your house waiting to attack you. You are in immediate danger. This type of situation requires you to think incredibly fast and intelligent, and this situation is definitely not for the weak. Do not move around the house. In fact, lock all the doors in the room you're in if possible. Avoid any other part of the house. Try your very best to at least lock all the doors or barricade all the doors in the room you're in. Without looking away from the person, listen for any faint movements or footsteps or sounds that indicates there's already a person inside the house. But always remember to never trust silence in this situation. Just because the entire house is silent doesn't mean you're alone. Call the police immediately. Speak quietly but clearly. Communicate very clearly that someone is watching you outside your window and that you're not alone. Remember, do not show fear. Stay silent, stay still. If they are bold enough to just stand there and stare, there could very well be a possibility that they're waiting for something or someone. Immediately assume that they're not alone, and there could very well be other people surrounding your house or already inside your house. Do not treat this lightly. Plan for an escape or confrontation. If you hear someone approaching, hide immediately. This is when you can break eye contact with the person you're staring with. Be prepared for an attack. Defend yourself and arm yourself immediately. Stay safe. Here is a true story you should be aware of and the lesson it can give you. Colleen Stan's story is a deeply unsettling tale of trust that is turned into unimaginable horror. In 1977, 20-year-old Colleen Stan was hitchhiking by herself on her way to her friend's birthday party.
Upon trying endlessly, Colleen was eventually picked up by a car consisting of two strangers, a couple named Janice and Cameron Hooker. The car stopped to pick Colleen up, and trusting their innocent and harmless appearance, she accepted the ride. The minute she got into the car and the car drove off, the couple instantly grabbed her at knife point. Cameron, a sadistic abuser, abducted her at knife point. Upon abducting Colleen, the couple then drove her to their home, where Cameron confined her into a coffin-like box under their bed for 23 hours a day for 7 years. Cameron subjected Colleen into extreme mental manipulation, physical abuse, and horrifyingly degrading conditions. Cameron forced Colleen into submission by telling her fabricated threats. He kept her fearful by telling her of a fake organization that was out to kill her family if she ever tried to escape. Janice, the wife, was deeply complicit of her husband's heinous acts. She enabled the abuse due to her own manipulated relationship. It wasn't until Janice confessed to the police in 1984 that Colleen was finally freed. This story is a very disturbing, dark, but very real reminder to always trust your instincts and never put yourself in a vulnerable situation like hitchhiking and accepting rides from strangers. Never assume kindness is safe. People who seem friendly or harmless can have deeply sinister intentions. Predators are usually known to use charm to lower your guard. You should never ever let anyone control your environment. You should control your environment. By accepting a ride, you give a stranger complete and deep control over where you're taken. Never put yourself in a situation where escaping is virtually impossible. Not to mention, this story also touches deeply on how dangerous isolation is. Predators always seek to isolate their victims. If you are ever alone or by yourself, always tell a trusted individual where you are. In today's society, that can be made very much possible by apps like Life 360, where your exact location can be seen by your most trusted loved ones. Always prioritize your visibility and effectively communicate your exact location to your trusted people. Never venture out by yourself, especially if you're going to a secluded area, without telling a trusted loved one where you're going. I cannot stress enough how much this story deeply delves into the psychological trap of manipulation. Many predators and abductors use fear and manipulation to ensure compliance within their victims. Always be cold to strangers. Be kind, but not nice. Nice kills you. Always stay mentally sharp and prepared for anything, and always look for opportunities to escape or resist. And lastly, always look for small details and use that details to justify leaving. Small details save lives. In Colleen's case, as soon as the car pulled over, she immediately noticed some details which should have prompted her to reject or at least left at the first opportunity. But instead, out of fear of being rude, she dismissed her instincts. Always trust your gut instincts. Those fleeting doubts can save your life. If you ever seek to hitchhike in your life, which I recommend you never do, do not ever put yourself in a position where escaping is virtually impossible, because in those fleeting moments, there is absolutely no luxury to make a mistake. This situation is not for the weak. You must think quick. Colleen's story will forever serve as a dark warning about trusting strangers, even those who seem harmless. Stay safe out there.
Here's some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. You're on your way home driving late at night, the road empty and silent. There are no other lights in the road other than your own. For miles upon miles of dark road ahead of you, you keep on driving with no worry. That's until you check at your rear view mirror and you notice there's a truck with its headlights off, tailgating you. Immediately you notice something is wrong. As you approach your next left, you turn left. The truck also turns left. When you do the next thing, you turn left again, and the truck also follows. This indicates that you've most likely been stalked, because the truck is not only following you, it's observing, calculating. You may have unknowingly crossed paths with someone who knows what you look like, where you're going, and what time you're vulnerable. This is a method often used by criminal organizations like the cartels to avoid drawing attention to themselves while they track a target. They're always hunting, and they're always looking for vulnerable, easy targets. And tonight, you might be it. You are in danger. This is how you can save your own life. Do not go home. If you even think about leading them to your home, abandon that idea immediately. If you lead them to your home, you have just handed them everything they need. Your address could be on a list and your location could be tracked. Their plan is not to scare and kill you. Their plan is to make you disappear. Drive as if you are being hunted, because you are. Drive until you reach a place with other people, light, and traffic.
Do not stop in empty or dark areas because they'll find a way to isolate you if you give them the chance. Do not panic. You must stay alert and make calculating moves. Do not even show them that you're aware that they're watching you. They are waiting for a sign that you know what's happening. Once they sense the tiniest bit of fear and awareness, they strike. Call for help immediately but quietly. In this situation, you do not have the luxury of making a scene. If you're being followed, your phone is the only thing connecting you to the outside world. Call the police, but do not let them know you're doing it. If you can't call the police, text someone your exact location and tell them you're being followed. If you can, let the police track your movements and your exact location. Words cannot express how crucial it is that you send that call or message, because this could be the last time anyone ever hears from you. Drive strategically and do not make any mistakes, because you cannot afford to make any mistakes in this situation. They're not just following you, they're hurting you. Do not let them box you in. If they start to close the gap, make sharp, unexpected moves. Throw them off. If they try to bump you, do not slow down. Accelerate. You're not just fighting for control over the wheel, you're fighting for your life. If they start to catch up to you and throw eggs on your windshield, do not use your wipers. Try to look for witnesses and surveillance cameras. You are being hunted down, and every moment in a deserted area makes it easier for them to take you down. Keep your eyes for any people and surveillance and jump at the first opportunity. Do not be the prey that gets lost in the dark. If they force you to stop or manage to trap you, do not wait for them to approach your car. Think quick, act quick. Close all the doors and windows, make sure they're locked. If they try to open your door, make noise, blast the horn. Even if they're cartels and even if they're ruthless, they can't risk a scene. Try your very best to scare them into backing off. And as a last resort, know when to run. Do not let them take you. The second you pull up to a secluded area, your car becomes a coffin. You have been marked for a reason and they won't let you go without a fight. Always have a defense weapon with you in your car, be it a pepper spray or anything sharp or anything that even just buys you a second. If that fails, run as fast as you can. Do not let them take you to that second location. Screaming for help might be your last chance of being heard. If you vanish tonight, you might never be seen again. Stay vigilant, stay aware, stay safe.
Here are some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. It is approaching 10 p.m. at night, and you're still home alone, scrolling through your phone, and suddenly it rings. There's no caller ID, but you still answer. A calm but authoritative voice tells you that your partner has been in a car accident but is stable. They claim to be from the hospital and urge you to come immediately. The details they give you, your partner's name, the car make, and even your location, are strikingly accurate. Panicking and shocked, you hang up and immediately call your partner. To your surprise, they answer, very confused but perfectly fine behind their desk at work. The reality hits you instantly. Someone is trying to lure you. This is what you should do immediately to save your own life. You must be very strategic and intelligent when doing this, but you must check if someone is already watching you from the window. Do not leave your house. Lock all the doors and windows immediately. If you're confident that you're not being physically and directly stalked by someone in the moment, check for your surroundings. Call your partner again and stay on the line to confirm their safety. If you have a landline telephone, call the police immediately on that while staying on the line with your partner. If you don't have a landline telephone, use the phone you're currently on, hang up on your partner and call the police as fast as you can. They knew you were alone and they knew how to manipulate you into leaving the safety of your home. Had you gone, you likely would have never made it back. Contact the police about every single detail of the phone call, especially if they knew your schedule and your personal information. Look for any unfamiliar vehicles, objects, people, or any movement outside the house. In more disturbing cases, someone might already be watching or observing, or even hiding in the corner of the house, and even your front door waiting for you to come out. If you can, do not let them know that you're aware. Avoid further answering for any other phone calls, especially the one with no caller ID, and block any number that you think is unrecognizable. This is a very deliberate, sinister, and highly calculated trap. Your life depends on not falling for their narratives. The fact that they targeted you at night when you were alone shows a very eerily unsettling level of observation. Situations like these are the reason why it is so important to check your house security, ensuring cameras, alarms, and motion sensors are working. It is so important to make sure that you are invincible, especially if you're home alone. To avoid anyone potentially lurking in the corner and stalking your every move from outside the window or any gap in the house. Always make sure that your windows are drawn to avoid being silhouetted. Immediately notify your neighbors. Let someone close by know what is happening so they can be alerted and aware of any future suspicious activity. This one is not only extremely important, it's extremely crucial, but get a security check. Immediately change your passwords and enable two-factor authentication. And you may want to consider also a professional sweep on all your devices for any potential malware or spyware. Stay public. For the next few weeks or even the next few months, avoid being alone at all cost. Go to places with large crowds or at least stay with people that you know and trust. And lastly, change your routines immediately. Try your absolute best to avoid being predictable. This can mean changing your commute habits or commitments or altering the places you frequent. Remember, we are not just talking about one eerie phone call. We are talking about a highly calculated effort to mentally and physically isolate you to execute a targeted and planned attack. In this scenario, awareness and swift action are the only thing that can keep you alive. Stay safe. Here are some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, and this is how you can save your own life. It is a bright day, and you're sitting at a cafe, focused on your coffee. This cafe is filled with people, so you're definitely not alone. You notice a man standing by the entrance. He looks and dressed normal, but something about the way he stands, too still, too focused, makes you uneasy. You dismiss your unease and think nothing of it. He's just a regular person. Then out of nowhere, explosion! The ground shakes, smokes fill the air, glass shatters, people are screaming, you hit the floor. Through the haze, you see him. He's holding a detonator. The first explosion was just the beginning. This is how you can save your own life. Drop to the ground immediately. Find cover as fast as you can. Anything solid that can shield you from any further blasts. Look for the best hiding places, a counter, a closet, or anything that can conceal you in the moment. But remember, this protection can only be so temporary. Stay hidden and out of view. Do not trust anyone. In situations like these, there could very well be other individuals with guns or other weapons involved. If there are survivors around the rubble or the debris, do not trust them. You have no idea if they're a threat or not. Within the heat of the explosion, the chaos and the confusion would create an opportunity for the attackers to roam around and have complete freedom controlling the area. Always assume you're alone in this situation. The armed men could be disguising themselves, blending with the chaos. Trust nobody. If there's no clear path to the door, do not waste time. Move quickly but quietly. Every single footstep you take, no matter how quiet, can get you noticed. The second you stand, you risk becoming a target. Do not run unless you know it's the only option. Stay quiet and stay hidden. Keep your breathing under control. If you can see the exit and it's clear, make your way out of there as fast as you can, but as quietly as you can. Act quick, think quick. And most importantly, survive first. You are not a hero. There's absolutely no point trying to help others if it puts yourself at risk. I repeat, do not help anyone if it means making yourself a target. In fact, if you even make it out of that room, keep moving until you're out of the danger. Do not stop. Do not stop in the street. Do not stop in the suburb. Leave the city or town that you're in. Do not stop. Do not stop for anyone and do not help anyone unless you're 100% sure you are safe. Your life is what matters right now, and in a situation like this, there is little to no time to think. Seconds count. Always recognize the signs. You saw him, you felt something was wrong. Trust it. People don't just stand like that. Pay attention to what doesn't fit. You are literally in the middle of an attack, and every single decision you make could be the difference between life and death. The first explosion was only a warning. The second one will be way worse. Stay low, stay quiet, and keep moving. Stay safe. Here's a real-world scenario that can happen to anyone, and this is how you can save your own life. You match with someone online. They're charming and they're funny, and they seemingly genuinely take interest in you. After weeks of texting, you finally agree to meet. The restaurant is calm and quiet, their manner is warm, and so you relax. Halfway through the evening, they suggest to continue the date at their place. It feels a little fast, but they've been respectful to you so far, and you don't want to seem rude, so you accept. Upon driving to and entering their apartment, the apartment itself seems very spotless, but eerily so. There are no personal touches, no photos, no clutter, no personal items, just the bare essentials. The moment you step inside, you feel uneasy. The door locks with a loud click. They don't offer you a drink, they don't even sit down. They just stand in front of the door, staring at you. You make an excuse to leave, but they block the exit.
Don't rush, we're just getting started.
They say with a smile that doesn't reach their eyes. Immediately, your heart starts beating extremely fast. You feel your phone buzz in your pocket. You reach for it, and immediately they snatch it off you.
No distractions tonight.
Suddenly, you notice a small detail that you have missed. A faint, acrid smell from another room, scratches on the door frame, and a set of knives laid out in the counter. Clean, but definitely not for cooking. You begin to feel sick. You are in danger. This is how you can save your own life. Stay calm, do not panic. Stay alert, but keep your emotions in check. Panicking can make you freeze or act irrationally. Immediately focus on observing your surroundings for any exits, potential weapons, or anything unusual. Do not show fear. In a situation like this, the second you even begin to show the slightest timidity or fear, they strike. And yes, you and your date might not be the only one in the apartment. Whatever happens, try your absolute best to not show any fear, to not show any reaction. You do not want to give them what they want. If the person standing in front of the door begins to approach you and attack you, fight back. Do not be the victim. If a group of men emerge from the corners of the apartment, do not become a victim. Do everything you can to get out of that room. And yes, even if this means dying in the process. It's either you escape the apartment or you die trying to escape. There is no way you're going to die a slow and painful death. Situations like these are the reason why it is so important to trust your instincts early. The moment you feel something is off, trust that gut feeling. Do not ignore it. Decline going to their place even if they seem trustworthy. And never agree to meeting in a private area. Always meet in public spaces where there is an easy escape route. Have a backup plan. Before your date, always share your location with a trusted loved one. Agree and set up a code word or phrase with them so that you can text to signal that you need help. Position yourself strategically. If you ever enter someone else's house, always make sure you're near to the exit, especially close to the front door. Never let them stand in between you and the exit. Always keep your keys or anything that can be used as an improvised weapon, like a pen, within reach. Never ignore small details. Always notice them. Look for signs that the space doesn't look well lived in, like missing items or out-of-place objects. If something feels staged, it probably is. Always stay calm, because this can buy you time. If they become aggressive or block your exit, do not provoke them. Stay calm, comply with their suggestion, but do not stop to look for opportunities to escape. Never let them disarm you. If they take your phone, do not panic, but be prepared to act. Escape at all cost. Use any means necessary to get out. Scream as loud as you can. Do anything to get out of that apartment. A loud commotion might even scare them into backing out or at least draw some attention. In the world of dating, even ordinary situations can turn into sinister circumstances. Predators and kidnappers always rely on charm and social norms to disarm you. The key to your survival is always staying alert, always listening to your instinct, and always having an escape plan. Do not be polite. Your life matters more than their feelings. Stay safe. Here are some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. You wake up in the middle of the night. There's knocking on your bedroom door. It's very soft, it's very quiet, but it's there. You get up and go to the door, but you don't hear anything from the rest of the house. You open the door and there's nothing there. In fact, the house is empty. You reach for the switch to turn on the lights, but the lights aren't working. The power's cut off. You check on your loved ones, and you realize one by one, room after another, they're all dead. No one is alive but yourself. The knocking is still happening, but now it's from inside your room. You are in danger. This is how you can save your own life. Do not make any noise to avoid attracting attention to yourself. Take slow and deep breaths. Staying calm is crucial in this situation. Assess your surroundings immediately. Make sure you're aware of any escape routes or potential hiding places. Listen for any sounds beyond the knocking, such as footsteps, whispers, or anything at all that might indicate that there's more than one intruder in the house. If your house feels too quiet, or you hear sounds coming from different directions, there's definitely more than one person in the house. You must leave as fast as you can. Be very cautious of trying to escape through areas that may trap you, such as doorways or hallways. Do not make any noise that could give away your location. Look for any potential hiding spots or exits. If you are near a window, back door, or balcony, check if you can leave silently, but only attempt to escape if you are 100% certain it's safe to do so. If you cannot escape immediately, try as fast but as silently as you can to move into a room that can be locked. If you can, once you've entered the room, as fast as you can, try to barricade it with any big furniture. But do this as quietly but as swiftly as you can to make it harder for anyone else to enter. If you have your phone with you, call the police quietly, but immediately. Once you call the police, do not hang up. Stay in the line no matter how silent it is from your end. The police can try to trace your location. Once you are secure and you're sure that the police are on their way, stay hidden and stay silent. They could still kill you. Be very swift to turn off anything that makes any noise or any light at all that could indicate where you are. At all costs, do not let them enter your room. If you hear banging on the door, do everything that you can to keep the door locked. Put any more furniture or anything at all that can prevent them from entering the room. Once they enter the room, it's too late. If you're fortunate enough to live, you'll hear police sirens outside your house. Stay safe. Here are some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. It is very late at night when you get into your car, tired and ready to go home. You start the engine and begin to drive down an empty road, with the headlights cutting through the darkness. The quiet hum of the car fills the space. A few minutes later, you glance in the rear view mirror. You see him, a man in all black, sitting perfectly in the corner of the back seat. You didn't notice him when you got in the car. You are in danger. This is what you must do to survive. Do not react. Do not even show fear. The second you show the slightest bit of awareness or rattling, they strike. Do not make sudden movements. Remember, you are driving, your hands are on the wheel. Keep them steady. Stay calm. Control your emotions. Panic or fear can cloud your judgment. If they're making any aggressive movements or appear to be preparing to act, you need to stay steps ahead. Do not go home. Avoid secluded spots. Stopping for anything, especially in a secluded area, gives them the opportunity to strike you. If you ever have to stop at a red light, especially in a secluded area, do not stop. Strategically drive to the nearest well-lit and populated area if you can. Signal for help by driving aggressively or doing anything it takes to signal the fact that you are in danger. Speed up if you're stuck in traffic or make sudden or unexpected moves to disorient or confuse him about where you're going next. This is crucial if he wants to take control of you. At all costs, keep driving. Do not stop. At any opportunity, especially if he's unaware, try to call the police immediately. Once you're in contact with the police, do not even say anything. Keep your phone as silent as possible. Keep it as discreet. Do not let the person notice. As long as you're on the line, they will trace your car. Do not wait for him to make the first move. If he's already aware that you've noticed him, he will definitely use that to his advantage. Alert the other drivers that you are under an imminent and immediate threat. If other cars are near you, try to honk the horn to gain as much attention as possible. Even if you don't see pedestrians nearby, other people nearby can still be able to hear it. Do not wait. Attack to disorient him and give yourself a chance to escape. Defend yourself if necessary. If he starts attacking from behind, do whatever it takes to stop him from gaining control. Target the vulnerable spots like the eyes, stomach, throat, or groin. If you're about to be stopped by a red light ahead and you have absolutely no choice whatsoever to stop, use this opportunity to escape immediately. Even just when you're about to stop, literally get out of the car. If you're fortunate enough to reach a public, well-lit, and populated area, stop your car, exit the vehicle, and run immediately. Try to enter a populated building. Avoid secluded areas. If you are in a desperate situation and you believe you cannot escape safely, crash the car. Swerve rapidly. Throw him off. This is especially applicable if he suddenly starts to attack you from behind. Only crash your car if it's your absolute last resort. Remember, this can make as much noise as possible, which gives you attention, but you may give him the upper hand. This should only be done if absolutely needed to stop him from gaining control. In this kind of situation, quick decisions are critical. Under any circumstances where you have to stop your vehicle, be it if you crash it, if you stop at a red light, or you stop at any area, be it secluded or well populated, you have only one job. Run. Fight for your life. Do whatever it takes to escape and to get to safety. Do not wait for him to make a move. Lock your doors and exit the vehicle as quickly as you can. Escape immediately. Run towards safety and do whatever it takes to escape. You must fight with everything you have until you're free and you're safe. If you are surrounded by people or you hear police sirens, you have just saved your own life. Stay safe. Here's a real-world scenario that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. You're sitting behind your desk late at night. The house is silent other than the occasional creaks. Your only source of light is the glow from the computer screen. As you type, you notice a faint reflection in the monitor, a shadow moving behind you. You freeze, staring at the screen. The shadow doesn't move again. Telling yourself it's nothing, you glance back. The room is empty. You try to focus on your work, but your phone buzzes. There is a message from an unknown number. You read it. It says,
"Why didn't you turn around?"
Your stomach drops. You look back at the screen, and the reflection is there again. This time, the shadow is closer. The only way to save your life is to act immediately. Do not freeze. Your instinct might tell you to freeze in fear. Fight that urge. You need to move deliberately and quickly. Do not look behind you. You need to leave that room. As per common sense, always assume there's more than one intruder in your house. If the person behind you starts chasing you, you need to do whatever it takes to not let them grab you. If they start attacking you, fight back. Remember to always aim for the weak spots such as the eyes, the throat, the chest, the groin, and the stomach. Do not let them trap you in corners, or do not go to places that might get you trapped, such as the hallway or doorways. Stay aggressive. Do not show them any fear. At all costs, leave your house. Do not let them catch you. Only when you escape the house is when you can call the police. Another method of which you can save your own life is if you knock them unconscious in some way, shape, or form. Other than those two, there is nothing else that can save your life. You may never be seen again. Stay safe. If this happens to you, there's virtually nothing you can do to save your own life. You're on your boat, with just you and your partner, alone at sea in the middle of the night. It's supposed to be a peaceful honeymoon, but then you hear the engine. You think it's nothing at first, but it keeps getting closer. Paranoid, you wake your partner up, but before either one of you can even react, they're on the boat. 4 men, silent and moving very quickly. Immediately they storm your cabin. One of them grabs your partner and pulls them out of bed. You freeze in shock. These people don't speak English, just harsh words you don't understand. The man with the knife steps towards you, his face covered in shadows. With his voice flat and cold, he says something you don't understand. You want to fight, scream, or escape? Anything, but you can't. They've already got your partner. There is no escape. Once they're on your boat, especially in the middle of the night, there's virtually nothing you can do to escape to safety. The boat is isolated and miles from shore with no one else around. Even if you try to start the engine and run, it'll take too long. They're already on top of you, faster than you can react. You can't just simply jump in the water and ask for help. It's literally pitch black and cold, and you have no idea how far you are from land. Your phone might be in your pocket, but there's absolutely no time to reach for it before they see you make a move. They're close, and just from their demeanor and the fear in their eyes alone is enough to tell you that they'll do anything to stop you from running. You are completely at their mercy. Situations and circumstances like these should serve as a direct warning that no place is truly safe. Whether you're on your boat in the middle of the ocean or you're in bed at night in your own home, the reality is threats can come at any time. Being unprepared in any circumstances leaves you very vulnerable. Situations like these also serve as a reminder as to why quick decisions not only matter, but are extremely crucial. In a life or death situation, especially one like this, decisions need to be made within seconds. Knowing what to do, having the tools at hand, and keeping calm are critical to increasing your chances of survival. Always be proactive. It's easy to think, oh, this won't happen to me, or this situation or scenario is very unlikely. That mindset could be the biggest mistake you'll make. Be proactive, not reactive. Having a direct and clear emergency plan, as well as the tools necessary in advance, might be the very difference between life and death. Survival is all about adaptability. Things will rarely go according to plan during an emergency. What truly matters is your resourcefulness, how well you can adapt to the situation at hand, and how well you can make the best out of the resources that you have in the moment. Preparation gives you the ability to think quickly and act in ways that might not seem obvious at first. Remember to always equip your boats with basic survival kits. Beacons, GPS trackers, and especially flare guns, especially if you're stranded in the middle of the night. And especially in a situation like this, where you're stranded in the middle of nowhere, especially in the darkness, you have absolutely no one you can depend on, no one to help you. You are your first responder. If you ever plan on sailing with a partner, or even alone, this scenario should serve as a warning. Before you even step on a boat, you always have to consider that the ocean is never safe. Let alone you must even think to yourself, is the ocean I'm traveling through prone to piracy or terrorism? Have I even considered if this is the best time to sail, weather-wise, tide-wise, water current-wise. And I can't even stress enough that as much as there's maritime laws applied on each and every ocean, there's literally virtually no protection. You are out in the open. Not to mention that the ocean itself is one of the most unexplored, one of the most mysterious and most terrifying places to be in. The ocean itself is a vast, endless expanse of unfathomable abyss. The last thing you want is to be stranded in the ocean, especially in the middle of the night, with a group of men who's ready to kill you. Stay safe.
Never go out in the ocean alone.
Here are some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. You're home alone late at night, and you're sitting down in the toilet bowl in your bathroom. The house is quiet except for the faint hum around the house. Then you hear it, a soft, deliberate footstep outside your bathroom door. You immediately pause and your stomach tightens. Here's how you know you're in danger. If you hear the sound of metal outside the door, this can indicate that the person most likely has a weapon, such as a gun or a knife. Another sign that is often overlooked is if you have an intuition that something is deeply wrong. This is what you must do to survive. Immediately make yourself prepared to fight. No matter what position you're in, you could be midway through pooping, peeing, or anything at all. Make sure you're ready to fight. Make sure you're able to stand on your feet without falling. As fast as you can, do everything necessary to make you completely mobile and completely prepared to fight in any moment. Always prioritize your survival over your dignity. The fact that they're waiting outside your bathroom door shows very well that they've already broken into your house moments before hoping that you were at your most vulnerable state. This also shows a great level of observation. Hence, this also shows that the person you're dealing with is not some ordinary burglar. You're dealing with someone much worse. By freeing one, if not both of your legs from your pants, makes you prepared to fight. In most cases, the intruder would simply make themselves known by slowly opening the door. However, in more disturbing cases, they will simply just lunge out of the door to attack you directly. If you're fortunate enough to have your bathroom door locked, this is what you can do. Do not wait for them to break the door open. If you have your phone with you, call the police immediately. If you don't already have your phone with you, well, all you have to do now is try to escape. Seconds matter in this situation. If the person on the other side of the door starts banging, whatever necessary thing you have to do to save your life, do it fast. If you have your phone with you, quickly call the police and make sure you're connected with them as soon as you can and leave it on call. Do not hang up. Doing so will alert the police of everything that's happening from your side. If you don't have your phone with you, make sure you barricade the doors immediately. Grab anything at all, like a furniture to block entry, or grab anything small at all to barricade the door enough to buy you time. You must grab anything that's near you that you can use as a weapon. Remember to always assume that the person behind that door has a weapon of some sort, like a gun or a knife. Prepare to defend yourself at all cost. If your toilet has a window that leads to the outside of the house, leave through that window, even if this means breaking through it. At this point, if the door is still locked or barricaded, the person most likely will be banging at the door at this point. Do not let time slip through your hands. Act quickly. If there is no way at all to get out safely, such as if you don't have windows in your toilet, you must be prepared to fight head on. Remember, most house intruders who break in to stay and attack you are most likely relying on fear to gain advantage over you. Do not give them what they want. The main priority here is to make sure you escape this danger and make sure you're safe. Do whatever it takes to escape this entrapment. If it means having to defend yourself and fight them head on, then do so. That is the only way you can ever escape. Situations like these are the reason why you should always lock your doors, especially at night, no matter how safe you feel. If you are ever home alone, make sure your phone is within arm's reach at all times. In most life or death situations, your phone is the only source of reliability to call for help in an event that you need to call for emergency. Always have your phone next to you and always stay aware. Again, especially if you're home alone. Do not listen to headphones, especially when you're home alone and when you're in a very vulnerable position, such as using the toilet. Criminals and intruders always rely on these moments of vulnerability to strike. And most importantly, although this should really come as a common sense at this point, always lock your home and secure your home. No matter if it's daytime, no matter if it's nighttime, no matter if you're in or out, lock your doors to deter intrusions in the first place. Preparation does not mean paranoia. It's about being ready to face the unexpected. Stay safe. Here is a real-world scenario that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. It is exactly 2:47 a.m. and you're jolted awake by a faint sound. Somewhere deep in the house, you hear your name. It's like a whisper, almost tender, but unmistakably out of place. You live alone, and you are alone, or you thought you were. You hear your name again, still with the whisper's tone, but unmistakably this time, the voice is much closer to your room. Immediately, your heart starts pounding and you try to rationalize it. Is it a dream? Is it a TV? Did I leave something on?
As you lay paralyzed in your bed, you wait dreadfully for the sound to come again. But after minutes of waiting, nothing. Just pure silence. Quickly but silently, you reach for your phone in your nightstand, but you realize that the battery has died hours ago. Right this second, you are in immediate danger, but you don't realize it yet. This is what you must do to save your own life. Do not make a sound. They are trying to lure you out, and they probably already know you're awake. Stay absolutely still. Even the sound of your breathing could give you away. Instantly act fast but silent. Arm yourself immediately. This is life or death. Find anything you can use as a weapon, be it a pair of scissors or any heavy object, or even a broken furniture or anything sharp. Hold it in your dominant hand and be prepared for the worst. In this scenario, you have absolutely no luxury to call the police because your phone is dead. However, if you have a charger in your room, quickly charge your phone. Seconds matter in this situation. The type of house intruder you're dealing with is not wanting to steal anything from your house. They're wanting you. They are trying to draw you out. Do not respond! There's a chance that they may think you're unaware of their presence and might hesitate to act. This gives you more time to prepare or escape. Do not investigate the noise. Do not go outside your room. There's a very big chance in this scenario that there's more than one intruder. In many past home invasion cases, criminals coordinate. One person might make noise to lure you out, and the other person might very well be hiding in the corner of your bedroom door, waiting for you to get out to ambush you. I repeat, stay inside your bedroom. Do not leave your bedroom. They've definitely planned this. One of them is outside your bedroom door, ready to grab you the moment you step into the hallway. The other is calling your name, their voice moving closer with every passing second. They are cutting off your options, corralling you like prey. The most terrifying part of this scenario is that you don't know why they're here in the first place. Of course, you must stay calm and not panic, but you must act fast. If for some miracle you had a charger and you charged your phone, call the police immediately. Do not make a noise, do not talk. Stay on the line so they'll trace your location. They'll hear exactly what's happening. If your phone's not working or you don't have a phone at all, be prepared for a confrontation. If the door opens, it's not a conversation. It's a fight for survival. Barricade your door now. If your bedroom door is slightly and completely open or just even locked, you're in complete vulnerability. Move as silently but as quickly as possible and secure it. Push the heaviest furniture you can find in front of it. They will definitely hear you and they'll be ready to strike. Be quick. At this point, they 100% know that you're aware of their presence. Find a way to escape now. Is there a window you can climb through or a fire escape? Any chance of an escape? Take it. However, if your only means to escape is to cross the room where they can see or hear you, do not take the option. Stay put. Regardless of the options available to you, always prepare for confrontation. Prepare to defend yourself. If they manage to break inside your bedroom, fight like your life depends on it. It's 2 against 1, so your chances of survival are very slim. But do what you can. Aim for the weakest points, their eyes, throat, groin, or knees. Strike hard, strike fast, bite if you need to, but whatever you do, do anything you can to escape. If you don't escape, this might be the last time anyone ever hears from you. The key to surviving a scenario like this is you must stay calm as much as you can, to stay as hidden as much as you can, and to act with precision. You might not be able to control the situation, but your actions can save your life. Stay safe. If this happens to you, there's virtually nothing you can do to save your own life. You're sitting in your living room late at night, scrolling through your phone. The house is silent except the hum of the fridge, but you feel completely safe and at ease. Then you hear a very spontaneous knock at the window. It's very quiet, but you know it's there. You freeze, because your house doesn't have a front window. Before you can even turn your head, the glass shatters. A cold hand grabs your neck and yanks you backwards into the dark. No scream, no time to process. Just complete silence, as if you're never there at all. In this scenario, there's virtually nothing you can do to save your own life because the attack itself was done at such an overwhelming speed and precision. You are caught completely off guard in a vulnerable moment in your own home where you should be safe. By the time you even realize what's happening, the intruder has already taken control. The pure and sheer surprise combined with the rapid execution leaves you paralyzed, leaving you with absolutely no chance to even defend yourself, to call for help, or escape. It's a situation where all your usual defenses, such as your awareness, your preparation, and your action, are rendered completely useless in the face of instantaneous threat. This is what you must do to prevent a situation like this from ever happening. Always secure your home. You want to always make sure that you install solid locks, motion sensor lights, and surveillance cameras. Always be aware of blind spots. If a window faces an area that you can't monitor easily, consider frosted glass, bars, or alarm systems for added security. Always trust your instincts. If something feels off, like unusual sounds outside, do not ignore it. Check cautiously and call for help. Always keep a personal alarm or weapon nearby. Literally something as simple as a loud alarm or a pepper spray can be life-saving. Do not ignore subtle signs. Noises like knocking, tapping, scratching, or any odd noises outside could be red flags. You must act immediately in the situation. Seconds matter. The biggest reason why you're not able to survive a scenario like this is because you did not react fast enough. Something as simple as fleeing from your couch moments before the hand grabbed you could have saved your life. You want to always make sure that in scenarios like these that you avoid open areas like doors and windows immediately. Remember to always think and act fast in this situation. And finally, try to build a safety habit. Before you even settle in for the night, you want to always make sure that you double check locks, alarms, and you make sure your phone is fully charged in case of an emergency, especially if you're home alone. Vigilance, immediate action, and preparation are key elements to surviving situations like these. Although scenarios like these are very rare, this scenario should always serve as a reminder of how fragile and unpredictable life can be. And that no matter how safe you think you are, something can happen that is so quick that you're powerless to stop it. Let this scenario serve as a reminder to always try to secure yourself to the best of your ability, even at home. Stay safe. Here is a real-world scenario that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. It's 1 a.m. and you're in the back seat of a cab after a long day. The driver suddenly turns off the main road, driving into a dim, deserted area. You glance up, and he's staring directly at you at the rear-view mirror, his grip on the wheels tightening. "Why are we here?" you ask, but he doesn't answer. The car slows, pulling over to an abandoned lot. He locks the doors with a soft click, then whispers,
You trust people so easily.
Your phone shakes in your hand when you realize nobody knows where you are. In this situation, seconds matter. This is what you must do to save your own life. Stay calm, do not show any fear. You've just been taken to a second location. Do not give them any more reason to gain control. Keep your breathing steady. The second he sees panic, he gains control immediately. I repeat, do not show any fear whatsoever. In a situation like this, pulling over to an abandoned lot could very well mean that the driver is not alone. There's other people coming their way. You must act immediately. You must not freeze in fear. If the driver has a knife or any form of weapon, the situation becomes even more dangerous and immediate. Do not panic, as this will impair your judgment and reactions. Do not make sudden movements. The last thing you want to do is to provoke the driver into pulling out a weapon, especially a knife, impulsively. You do not want that. Use your words strategically. Remember, your life matters more than your dignity. As much as you can, keep him talking. Engage with the driver with a calm and non-threatening dialogue. You want to say things like, "I don't want trouble," or "You don't have to do this." The more he talks, the more time you have to think. But you always have to remember that there's other people coming your way. You must act immediately. Try your absolute best to humanize yourself. Mention your family, your friends, or anyone waiting for you. This will make them hesitate.
Look for an opportunity to escape.
Assess your distance from the knife or weapon. If he really is holding a weapon like a knife but is not holding it close, you may have time to unlock a door or break a window. Try to distract him. Point something in the corner and yell, "What's that?" Or try to drop something or make a movement that would make him look away. Even a split second can be enough to act. If you still haven't escaped the car and he suddenly threatens you or lunges at you with the knife, block and evade immediately. Use a bag, jacket, anything to defend yourself. As much as you can, try to keep the knife away from your torso and neck. Fight like your life depends on it. Always try to aim for his eyes or throat with anything sharp or heavy. Remember, a strong kick to the face, groin, or knee can incapacitate him. Assess and use the environment around you. If you can, disable the car, especially if the car is still moving. Shift the car into neutral or use the steering wheel to crash into something minor. Not only will this stop the car and buy you time, this could also attract attention. At all costs, escape the car. The moment you see the group of ambushes surrounding you, it's too late. Escape through the window. If the doors are locked, smash the window using your feet or anything heavy. Call for help at every opportunity. Immediately activate your phone's SOS or call 911 immediately but discreetly. Remember, if you can't talk, leave the line open for operators to track your location. Upon escaping the vehicle, if you do, run as fast as you can. Do not stop for anyone. Do not stop for anything. Run to a well-lit and populated area as fast as you can. Remember, your priority is to act decisively. The more swiftly and faster you escape or disrupt your plan, the better your chances of survival. Stay safe. Here's some real-world scenarios that can happen to anyone, and this is how you can save yourself. It is 2 a.m. and you're alone in your combine harvester in your farm. The soft hum of the engine is the only sound in the dark, endless field. Then you glance up, then suddenly,
you see figures emerging from the cornfields. These figures are moving in the shadows coordinately, too many to be random passerbys. They're approaching fast, armed with rifles, and the sound of their footsteps muffled by the ground. Immediately, your panic surges. Your phone is dead, and the nearest neighbor is miles upon miles away. You try to start the engines, but the keys won't turn. The men are close now, their figures distorted by the grain, almost melding with the darkness. One of them raises a gun. For a brief second, you freeze in shock, knowing that the next few seconds could be your loss. Nobody will hear you scream. This is what you must understand. While the situation is undeniably dire, there are certain critical actions that could potentially save your life. Even in such a razor-thin life or death moment, here is what you must do. Turning off the lights might be a very tempting first move, but if you already locked eyes with them and they know very well that you're aware, this is not a good idea. What you must do immediately is to use the harvest combine as a shield and a weapon. However, to maximize your survival, you must do this strategically. In order to do it, you also must assess the situation. Always remember to stay calm, as panicking reduces your ability to think and act clearly. Take deep breaths and focus. Watch their behavior. Are they acting cautiously or aggressively? Their body language might reveal if they're trying to intimidate you or they're trying to harm you. Immediately scan your surroundings. Evaluate and note as much as you can how many attackers there are, the numbers, the positions, as well as nearby covers or escape routes, such as ditches, trees, or fields. These seconds of mindfulness and observation is crucial to maximizing your chances of survival. If you manage to turn the keys and get the engines working, start the harvester. Move it toward the attackers slowly but menacingly, forcing them to scatter. Use the harvester as a barrier to block their line of sight or to create distance. However, in the terrifying but very likely scenario that you don't get the engines working, stay in the harvester for as long as you can. For as much as possible, barricade and lock yourself inside the harvester for as long as you can. Keep the doors locked, as its metal frame can act as a temporary protection against gunfire. However, if you can still use the lights, use it to illuminate their positions and monitor their movements. As much as you can, make yourself a hard target. Show resistance. Use the horn, flash the lights, or make any sudden movements that projects confidence or unpredictability. As much as you can, try not to show fear, because most criminals prefer easy, compliant targets. Be loud. Yell, scream, or shout to disorient them or make them think that reinforcements are nearby. Trying your absolute best to become a hard target not only buys you precious seconds, but it also decreases their chances of attacking you with confidence. At all cost, plan your escape. If you can drive away, use the harvester to head towards safety, even at a slow pace. The noise and bulk might intimidate the attackers, giving you a chance to escape. If driving away isn't an option, this is what you must do. You must check all directions, including behind you, to your left and right, to make sure that nobody is approaching you from that side. If you have decided there's an area with no attackers of which you can flee confidently to, turn off the lights. As swiftly but as silently as you can, exit the harvester from the side that is opposite to the attackers. From there on, all you have to do now is run. If you are completely surrounded by attackers from all sides and a lurker is waiting by the exit for you to escape, running away is not a good idea. What you must do is to use distractions to delay the attackers. Create as much noise as you can. Honk the horn or throw heavy objects, or cause a mechanical distraction. For example, overrev the engine. This could confuse or even intimidate them. If you can, you could even create light or small fire and throw it as far away from the harvester as you can to mislead them about your location. Again, the key here is to buy yourself as much time as possible. At this point, you must prepare to arm yourself for defense. If you haven't already been shot, you can still protect yourself. Find tools. Look for anything sharp or heavy inside the harvester. These include wrenches, metal shards, or even pieces and parts of the harvester. You want to make sure that you're able to defend yourself strategically. If confrontation is unavoidable, as best and as much as you can, position yourself where only one attacker can approach at a time. For example, near doors or tight spaces. If they manage to breach the harvester or corner you, use whatever tools and weapons you find to defend yourself. Remember, your goal is not to overpower them, but to find an opportunity to escape and run. If possible, signal for help. Use any device or method to attract attention from distant neighbors, passing vehicles, or just anyone nearby. At all cost, escape.
If by miracle you manage to escape on foot, drop any noticeable items like your keys, your wallet, or even pieces of your clothing to mark your path for any rescuers. However, in the likely but extremely terrifying scenario where you are taken, do the same thing. Try to throw as many things as you can. Subtly leave marks, scuffs, or torn fabrics, or items in any area they pass through to help authorities track you later. Regardless, the #1 priority you must focus on is escaping. If you manage to do that, do not stop running. Once you escape their immediate area, keep moving and keep running until you reach a safe place. Report immediately. Contact authorities as soon as you can. Provide detailed description of the attackers and their actions. Although surviving scenarios like these are incredibly thin, your survival in this scenario depends on staying calm, acting decisively, and using your environment to your advantage. Even in the face of extreme danger, quick thinking and resourcefulness can give you the edge to escape. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, know that these actions can help you survive. Stay safe.